live streaming this live. So, are you on?
Give me 1 second. Okay, you're live.
Okay, we're live. Hello, everybody, and thank you for showing up tonight at our Kalāheo Town Hall meeting. And the whole purpose of this Town Hall meeting is to get the input from the communities as we get ready for the budget. We get the mayor's budget on March 15th, and we just want to hear from the community. And I know some people ask, how come it's only you, Mel? How come it's not the whole council? I got an email saying, you're not a leader. I only support leaders that are team players. But the whole reason is we want to keep this short. Oh, Mr. Barrera. Mr. Barrera, Lady Barrera from our administration is here. Thank you for being here.
And I'm here as a private citizen.
Okay. We also have Councilmember Billy Costa in the back and Councilmember Felicia coming in. And I'll get to the sunshine real quick. But anyway, we wanted to keep it short so we can have some really good dialogue. But again, mostly a listening session. The Sunshine Law, believe it or not, prohibits more than 2 council members to attend any community meeting. Exactly. So it's really, it's a bad law. The Sunshine Law is a good law because it forces us to keep the public informed of what's going to be on the agenda and forces us to have a discussion and vote in open. But the bad part about that law is it prohibits more than 2 members from attending community meetings, which is very difficult. So if we had 7 council members up here tonight, and if every council member spoke for throughout the night, let's say 10 minutes, that would be 70 minutes taken away from your time. So I can assure you that everything that is discussed tonight, we have our staff back there, Lady Trujillo and Jessica, and they are here to take notes, and any issue that you have or any concern that you have, anything that you'd like to see in the budget that may not be in the budget when we get it on March 15th, the council does have the opportunity to put it in. So if you have any of those concerns, you can air it here on the floor. But Jessica in the back has contact forms or informational forms. If you leave us your contact information, we will follow up on your issues. We'll track that issue. So you don't have to worry who to call across the whole county, whether it's parks or public works or buildings. We will track it at the council services office. We will keep you in the loop. So all communications that go across the respective agencies, whether it's the county, the state, or the federal government, you will be kept in that loop as well. So you will have a clear understanding of where your issue is at. Mr. Kalāheo, our planning director, is here as well from the administration. He's here in his official capacity, unlike Mr. Barrera. So with that, again, we are televising or broadcasting this live on Kauaʻi. Thank you, Kauaʻi. Who wants to start? Sir.
My name is Bobby.
We have a mic. Hey, can you get the mic?
Yeah. My name is Bobby Gonzalez. I live up the street. I'm confused on your tax structure. On my street, I live on I see the 9
Well, the mayor fixed that up real quick this year. He changed the definition of homestead. So now for residential properties, it's homeowner or owner-occupant and non-owner occupant. So there's just that 2 classes that relate to our residential. So the properties that people live in. Commercial, obviously, is commercial. If you have a commercial property or you have a property that's running a business on it, that's commercial. Ag, industrial, resort. So each classification is kind of different. I think the confusion came when we had homestead, because a lot of people related a homestead class to Hawaiian homeland. So now it's owner occupant. So if you're an owner, you occupy your house, you get the low tax rate and you get the property tax cap. So your assessment is over 1.3%. If you don't live in the house and you are renting out long-term rental at the market rate, then you have a higher tax rate. But if you have a rental property that you're renting out in the county's affordable housing program, then you get the same benefit as the owner occupant, which means you get the lower tax rate and the 3% cap. It's confusing.
As of October, it changed?
We changed that, we actually passed it, I think, yeah, maybe late last year, I can't remember the exact date. But it will be in effect for this new tax year. Good question. This year is going to be a little different because we are now going to be able to tier the tax rates, so we are going to be able to provide more tax relief or targeted tax relief to the people that need them, mainly the local residents, versus the part-time residents. Any other questions? Yes.
So let me clarify something. You said there's a 3% cap
Correct. On the assessment.
on the assessment for the affordable housing?
Correct.
Okay, so,
If you rent your house that you don't live in to affordable rents that are set by, which are actually has been increased to 90% on the EMI, then you get the same benefit as if you were living in that house. That is really critical because that's a huge savings.
And if you're a homeowner, you have an ADU, if it's granted under that, you'll get a rate, it's not an ADU.
Correct. Yes, sir.
This one? I don't know.
Man, I didn't recognize. I forgot my glasses in the truck, man. I didn't recognize that. I'm so sorry.
My name's Ed Justice. I have a story bookstore on a picnic. I just wanted to let you guys know that it's been 5 years since Vagrants burned down the bathrooms in Honolulu Town Park. And instead of a new bathroom being built, I've put up a porta potty there for the last 5 years. With the door that's being left open, with flies feeding on the human waste that's inside. It's embarrassing for us to send customers to this restaurant, but that's pretty much the only thing we have in the entire town. And especially on Friday nights, that's it. So as you know, there's hundreds of people that show up. When we inquired about this in the past, we've been told, oh, it's underway, it's in process, we're coming up with a more secure bathroom facility. But at this point, maybe renting something that would be a little bit nicer for the whole town to use would be very much appreciated. I've had people come in and yell at my employees. I've had people threaten physical violence at me because I sent them to that restaurant. So if we could have something be built ASAP, that would be fantastic. I can't imagine it would cost $500,000, but if we could do it for something around there, at least it's better than a nasty porta potty where somebody could get sick just for sitting in the toilet.
Thank you. Yeah, and again, we'll definitely. All I can tell you is that I know Councilmember Kalāheo has been pushing for that restroom at that park for a while now, and I guess for us here on the council, we can request, we can actually put the money in the budget. Back in 2018 or 17, I guess, with the prior administration, the council put in $750,000 to put a bathroom up at the stadium soccer field. And if the administration does not want to put it up, then it doesn't go up, regardless of what the council does. So we will definitely pass on the concerns. Again, I can honestly tell you that Councilmember Kalāheo, that is one of the Hanapeka kid, right? He's from Hanapeka. So he has been pushing, and we'll make sure that that concern gets, I like the way you graphically described it. I think maybe we got to put that in the letter. But thank you.
is that public works department?
It's parks and recreation. But again, it's funding and execution, and we'll definitely pass that on again. I agree with you, by the way. I agree with you. Any other concerns? Karen, you want to read the 2 pages of questions? Go ahead, Karen.
Okay.
I'll follow along.
Jump over.
Okay.
Pedestrian safety. Okay, first of all, Kokoro that needs more sidewalks and more safety barriers. I mean, that's the second pedestrian in a short period of time. It's gonna happen someplace here in Kalāheo, because I can tell you with the amount of traffic that comes to Kalāheo town, I don't know how you can slow them down other than putting speed humps maybe at the end by Kalāheo Cafe and Brick Oven Pizza, as well as a crosswalk so that when people target the pizza brick oven, they can easily get across to Kalāheo Coffee without getting hit. Another one is down, you get this far in by Holy Cross Church, so you're slowing them down as you go along. Speed, yellow flashing lights on the crosswalks would also help. On Papalina Road, I have a lot of roads. Papalina Road, speed humps by the turn, right up past the egg farm, before you find your way to Kukui'ula Golf Course. Now, Ernie is close by, so he knows. I mean, the cars constantly are hitting the guardrail right across where my son is. And then further down, if they miss that turn, they're going to hit either a couple of houses down on the lower section, or a couple of houses up on the upper section. So I think there needs to be some mechanism of slowing them down in that corner. Not to mention that the school bus uses that corner as a bus stop for high school and middle school. Then there's serious concerns, safety concerns. And that's just one group.
I know the crosswalks on Kauaʻi Highway, I was just talking to Mr. DeCosta today, and he had reached out to DOT Larry Hill and actually was assured that the crosswalk in question, not the one you talked about, but will be up in 2 weeks. So I think, as far as Kauaʻi, I have your location, so we'll definitely put in a request for the state, as well as Papalina. That is the county road. So Papalina is a different story. And the process is when we submit, or anyone in the community submits a request for speed humps or any kind of speed calming devices, that the county, the public works will come out and do an analysis, traffic speeds, counts, and then the engineer will make a determination whether or not it meets the requirements or the eligibility requirements for the speed hump or speed table now I think it's called. There was a time where that was non-existent. You could not get a speed hump on this island. And I think Hanalei broke the mold when we did Kalāheo Road. And then since then, I don't know. I've been out of the council for a long time, but there's a lot of speed humps on the island now, so I guess it's much easier to get. But, so again, we'll put in the request at least for the public works. I know there's a bunch more that we have on here, but good, yeah. I told our staff we encourage to be here till 10 o'clock tonight.
Hi, Justice. Since we're talking about speed and traffic issues, on Waha Road heading down to Mizo Park, there's also a lot of speeding that goes on there too. We live on Waha Road, and especially around nighttime, there's a lot of visual traffic that zips up down that road constantly. And we can hear the car, I guess you can't mistake that motor and the subwoofer and all that. And it goes down, it's there at the park probably, I'm guessing, for about 5 minutes, and then zips up 50 miles an hour. And most likely, a lot of us on Waha Road assume it's because they're going to that park to do some kind of drug deal, and they zip back away. So I don't know if speed humps is the answer to that, and it's maybe slow them down, but it might be good to look into. The other thing would be, is it possible to get cameras or something observing what's happening down at that park? Our neighbor was almost hit by one of the speeders who was zipping down there. I don't know if you had heard about the siren that went off there about a month ago, or 2 months ago. One of those emergency sirens suddenly went off, very unusual. And that was the guy that almost hit him. And we see a lot of traffic like that. Another thing that might deter possibly that park from getting used as a place for drug dealing would be to move that fence that's blocking the actual grassy area, move it up to block the parking area. And you can have an unlock and lock if somebody actually is going to be using it. I don't know if those are any available options, but I just
Waha Road is, I think we have sent numerous requests over to Public Works about Waha Road, and, I guess we can continue to push the concerns. The cameras, I know we did put cameras up, and this island is not the same island anymore. I mean, cameras, they just basically break the cameras, they just destroy the cameras. I hate to say this, and I know we're live, and I'll probably get blasted with emails tomorrow, but at some point, when do we have to close the parks at night? Is that the solution, and punish I mean, who really goes to the park at night for good reasons? I don't know. I was always against closing public places at night. All the other counties just shut their parks down. But the police have no tools. If you're in a park is not closed, there is no law. And, so are we getting to that point on Kauaʻi now where we got to start talking about closing our parks at night? Unless you have a permit. And, if you want to have a party at the park, you can get a permit. Because, I used to be a cop, and there's no law. I mean, you can't kick a person out of a place that's open to the public. If they're doing drugs, that's a whole different story. But, even on Kauaʻi, there's no prohibition of alcohol in parks either. Which maybe that's the next step as well. I don't know, and that's why we're here. Because I love to hear what you guys are thinking, but signs, cameras, all of that stuff, the behavior is just different now.
If you do something like that, closing parks, you could also maybe have selected parks that get closed. Like maybe sports parks get closed at night as opposed to like beach parks or certain parks. Or you can have different tiers of parks, like there are open at night and then ones that are just specifically recreational parks. So
Well, I will tell you that the complaints don't come just from sports parks. We get complaints from all parks, beach parks, and so again, I'm here open for suggestions. Any other questions? Anyone? Yeah.
My name is Steve Parsons, nice friend. I almost grabbed my friend there at the same time. I've got two questions for the county council there. One's around climate change. So since the scientists are telling us we're rapidly running out of time to avoid the worst effects of climate change, that we need to end all fossil fuel use as fast as possible, and fossil fuel pollution kills over 90 million people a year, is the county willing to partake in electrify Kauaʻi campaign to help speed us off fossil fuels ASAP and stimulate the local economy, save lives, ecosystems that we depend on for life, and potentially save money in the process at a minimum? Asking the county to stop buying brand new fossil fuel burning vehicles, equipment, and tools. Now, if possible, food generators and all that, since there's a lot of electrical alternatives. If you want a second question, I can let you answer that.
I can just, our county is, in my opinion, maybe not as aggressive as you would like to see, but they do have very aggressive approach towards, especially gasoline. Gas. I mean, our buses now, we're buying all electric buses. We don't really have the infrastructure in place right now to accommodate that, but I think they are doing, I guess, I'm satisfied with the efforts that this administration has been moving towards climate action. I think that it's probably something that's better answered by them because it's their decision to make. But the council has supported all of the efforts from the administration as it relates to the conversion to electrical vehicles. We do have a pretty big electrical vehicle fleet. As I just mentioned, the purchase of electrical buses, we just approved that, and charging systems. So maybe not as quick as you would like, but I know the direction of this administration is moving in that way.
And I greatly appreciate that. I think it's so smart. It is, sooner the better. And just not vehicles, but like all power tools and things that the county workers have to use. And I did that gig when I was testifying last year when I brought a cigar, right? To smoke a cigar, why can't I smoke in public? It's not good for our health, right? It's not good for the county employees' health. So as soon as you can make a ban or try to just, make half your purchase of electric this, and the next year make 60% electric, and stop using all the old stuff. Stop using old stuff until it dies. But just an idea, an encouragement. Thank you for what you're doing, and also those other pieces already mentioned. Second question has to do with, and again, I am a small business owner. I'm part of Kauaʻi Climate Action Coalition, certified and whatnot. So these are things that we've all been talking about for a number of years. On the landfill, and there was a recent expert that came to testify to you, the county council, and a few KIUC, Mike Ewald, and some of his suggestions were that currently right now the garbage collection is underwritten, so it's something that people aren't paying a fair share for. So his suggestions, I know there were many, but part of those were stopping weekly service of garbage pickup, going to every other week, and then picking up and making that a little bit more expensive so that people have to pay, but make recycling and compost pickup, free or easier, so that we need to take. I know you're taking a lot of action on the landfill, but if we could try to do a little bit more of a bigger campaign on that, then maybe we can save that landfill a little bit longer and then get rid of a lot of the stuff that's going in there, and methane and everything else. So, just a thought. I know you guys are working on it.
Yeah, that actual issue is one that I think has come up in every single one of our town hall meetings. I'll be honest, we're at a crisis. We are all ready to leave. We are all ready to leave. And some of the diversion measures, I think the composting, excellent. The recycling, I think, we got to change the culture of this place, right? So we charge more. We pick up twice a month instead of once a week. I can assure you that this island will be riddled with illegal dumping. It's just a reality. I'm a realist. I'm sorry if I'm just real. So the curbside recycling, I think, is a low-hanging fruit. Myself and Mr. Picosa met with solid waste this morning about that very topic. That curbside recycling with the materials recovery facility where we can divert. The problem, though, and people got to understand the problem of recyclables. When you sort these things out, where do you send it? Where do you send it? I know everyone thinks we're going to recycle it, we'll sell it to China, and they're going to pay us this big money. Well, China ain't taking plastics no more. Cardboard is very difficult to recycle now. It's not like it was 20 years ago. So we can legislatively mandate certain things, but then we find ourselves having to go rent warehouse space to store the recyclables that we're sorting out, and it's not serving the purpose that we intend to serve with the legislation. So I agree, we have to divert as much as we can before now and the landfill is filled, because we have to. And I think we will see in this upcoming budget, you will see some that was speeding speed hump right here. I think you'll see some measures taken that will try to help facilitate the recycling, but again, it's how do we send it?
Chair, propose if I just one
Sure.
follow.
Absolutely.
On the illegal dumping, with respect, you may have a little more inside information than I do on that, right? Being transplant and whatnot, but Mike did talk about that in his presentation and track where people have done it, different places, mainland granted, and they did not see an uptick in illegal dumping. There was a couple of isolated incidents, they caught them, but it could be different here, but I don't think it would be as dramatic. We had some alternatives as widely speculated about. But again, with respect, thank you for all you're doing.
With all the discussions we've been having, the biggest thing that fix all the problems is the planning department. They need to realize and plan for the future to absorb all this traffic and to absorb crosswalks and everything else. Because that's what we need to do, is plan for the future. Now it's all too late, and we've got things going on the way. really too late. The planning department is the key to addressing all these problems. And we need to do that.
You know, we often get criticized for, you know, the county council, your planning commission, is approving all these developments. And, you know, the reality is that these developments that we are seeing being built today were approved, you know, 30 years ago, 40 years ago. And planning, and he's here, planning director is here. I'm not gonna call him up here, but, you know, it's between the planning commission and the county council. We only get involved when there's a change in zoning, which is rare. Because all of the zonings have been granted, all the permits have been granted. We just had a discussion about, remember planning today too, by the way, regarding some of the developments, public access. We gotta do a better job on following up on these developments that had conditions when they were granted the zoning. Kauaʻi is a good example, where they had numerous conditions that they had to fulfill with a 20-acre park and so forth. And we actually were on track to have an agenda item this month to have the developer and our planning department at the council committee meeting so we could get an update on all the conditions and when are they going to be fulfilled. The representative or Kauaʻi's representative got ill, so it looks like that's not going to happen until next month. But we have the conditions, that's all we can enforce. But you're right, and as we start looking down the road when we're building affordable housing, this, again, it's not the same planning department that we saw 30 years ago. Remember, back 30, 40 years ago, everybody wanted development. Everybody wanted hotels. They wanted resorts. They wanted jobs. And now what we see, we get, our infrastructure is not enough anymore. So, going forward, as the planning department starts to look at permits, you know, we see, we read the permit, we read the meeting reports, planning commission reports, and they're doing their best to force these developers to pay for the infrastructure that they're going to be needing. But at the end of the day, it's hard to put the genie back in the bottle. We're too late now. And we cannot control visitors, we cannot control people moving here, we cannot control, you know, this outrageous sales of property now that's coming to Kauaʻi. I know, and it's not to actually like here, but that's just the truth.
Again, you use the representative and then control. So, whatever comes in our control, seek other help to control.
Yeah, and I agree.
You know?
And trust me, I don't know how many communications we send out on a weekly basis from council to our state delegation, to our federal delegation. It's sometimes really helpless. We feel so helpless because we're so restricted to what we can and cannot do on the council level. But, you know, we try. And that's
There's
all.
only about 50 parties, like everybody cooperate with each other.
Yeah, and
It's done the right, the proper way, you know.
yeah, and that's what our job is, to make sure that those departments are working together. Although we really cannot tell them what to do. We can definitely request, and I will say about this administration that they're very responsive. I request a meeting. In fact, the meeting we had today with solid waste was, I requested that meeting last week, Thursday or Friday. They, you know, very receptive and very open to meeting with us and discussing these things. And you know, I believe we work really well with them. How do you fix years and years or decades of overgrowth that it's very hard, you know, it's very difficult.
But there's a good bit of time you must start doing it.
And I will say that they are. I mean, when we review the planning commission, when we review the permit applications for subdivisions, they're really putting it, and in fact, you know, it's almost counterproductive because if you're a subdivision developer and the planning commission says, okay, now you gotta put up a sewage treatment plant, you gotta put up curbs and gutters, you gotta put up sidewalks, you gotta put up pedestrian lanes, they just say, forget it. Yeah, it's not the same way, okay? That's fine. That's how it is. But if you look at the projects that have come up, you know, within the last 10 years, I think you see the difference where now all the sidewalks are there, the turn lanes are there. It's a different philosophy, I think, of the planning department. But again, it doesn't fix what's broken. And that's the trick. I'm not sure how you do that.
Going back just a little bit as far as Mark, I live on a dead-end road, and from dark to light, my street is full of bugs and I know people creeping. So until we stop those people from creeping in the creek, they don't care about speed bumps and lots of meters. So that's that. And then the utility. Why is it a very unique place? They have to generate their own power. They have to transmit their own power. They have to just very few places in our United States do that. And why has to do 33,000 meters? It's very difficult. One thing comes to this island, everything is garbage. It comes on the plane, it comes in the garbage. But until we get a garbage to energy plant that is not an incinerator, it burns stuff thousands of degrees to make energy. There's two solutions. We can lower our costs on electricity. We're burning garbage. Right now, we're still using 3 locomotives from 100-something years ago, pour down in a GE engine up Wailuda side. That means maintenance every 6 months. It sucks jet fuel, and those locomotives suck diesel fuel. To have an electrical system, you have to keep it balanced. And without those 3 things, 4 things really, they can put one of them down, or put 2 of them down, and one down. All the windmills, all the solar panels aren't going to work because of the loading requirements of keeping the system balanced. So we can't go electric until we solve our energy problem, how we're going to fuel it. And our system in Hawaii was put in before the President of the United States, Howard, in the White House, was working on a transportation system that is ancient and it can't handle the loads today, which is the demand that we want from the
Yeah, I think the administration is going out with a request for proposal, an RFP, basically going out for alternative technologies, which includes waste to energy, anaerobic digestion, all of the different technologies that are out there. There's a segment of this community that doesn't want to see that, but we are at the stage now where Manal landfill is going to fill up in years, and there really is no solution that's going to be able to be implemented prior to that gate shutting down.
They looked at Kalāheo.
Yeah, I mean,
Worst place to put it, it's down.
yeah, I mean, you citing a landfill, no one wants it in their backyard, and no one wants a burn plant, no one, yeah, I understand, and that's what the RFP is, and
We have a plan now of burning trees.
right.
So let's turn that into a garbage plant to burn its impact.
Yeah, and again, our mayor has made the decision that we're going to explore that, and that RFP is going to go out. I support that. I think we got to consider all options. Because I'll be honest with you guys, man, landfill is the worst thing you can have for trash. It is. It's toxins upwards and downwards. And in Kikaha,
Not according
worst
to
place.
Mike. Not according to Mike Ewell.
Yeah, I know. Again, I don't want to debate issues here because I kind of wanted to hear. I'm just letting you guys know that that's what's happening right now.
Look at where they were built and what they generated. If you build it, if you go bring all the mom off, the situation with
Yeah, I get it. I don't want to get into debate things like that. I want to really use this time to get in, issues that are in their communities. But that is just one option that this county is exploring. The other option is a landfill, and the other option is a zero waste philosophy, which has to be implemented, but we will not, and we may disagree on this, but I can tell you, because I'm a realist, is that we will not zero waste our way out of this problem that we have on Lake Kauaʻi right now. We are going to run out of time, and we can divert as much as we can. We can divert a lot of food stuff, we can divert a lot of things, the construction degree, but where is it gonna go? Where is it gonna, we don't have facilities in place right now to accommodate those diversions. And that's what I mean, when we make decisions, it's about what is practical and what is doable. And that is kind of the dilemma we're in right now.
Remember, you gotta file that need.
That's kind of what, worst case scenario, that's what's gonna happen. Is there anyone else that wants to have a question?
Yeah, I get basically 3 questions there. And they kind of related, they're all different. But one is about voting integrity. The reason I say that is because, you know, I watched Brown's video on Instagram, and I mean, our county is kind of roadblocking and not open with us. I mean, and if you look at it, you can see that for yourself. Why are they so hesitant to let us see the true results? Because everything else after that is based on the voting. If we cannot get the people who we want in to represent us, then everything is for nothing. Because all we get in is talk, and people staying there, they just in their positions, you know what I mean? And we're not really getting represented. And, you know, I vote my whole life, and all my friends, they all say, vote nothing. They're going to do what they're going to do anyway. You go into the meeting, they're going to talk, and then nothing. And you know what? It's almost like they're right. You know, we seem like we're the fools because we look at the system, and I'm not conspiracy theories, it's facts, you know what I mean? So, we want to be represented, and if people cannot get the people to represent them, take for instance the Oahu City Council, you know, they wanted this ridiculous raise. The people went and voiced their concern about that, yeah? And Augie was the only one who brought that out and let the people know what was going on. But in the end, they just passed that thing anyway. Why? Because there's no accountability. They're going to get in, big brother taking care of them, just do and play with the team, you know what I mean? So, and the second question I get is, we get this meeting right now, and it's about the budget, right? So in this budget, we include raises for our county employees, because we got to tighten our belt, but government just squeeze the rag a little tighter. And I don't mean to get all the time.
No, man,
I mean, you know what I mean? But that's how I feel. I mean, because, you know what I mean? Squeeze them, the rag dry, squeeze them harder, leave them more juice come out, you know? And the system that's going on with all these people, I want payment contractor, but I don't sell my soul for that. I like see the island the same, green, local houses, not pushing our locals over a lot of here, you know what I mean? Because the price is too high. Somebody build $1 million, multi-million-dollar right next to you, up the taxes. My taxes going up. And everybody else is just built right next to them. And we cannot stop this. Who is to blame? Because my third one is the planning. Okay, now, planning, we get these meetings and everything, and let us know what's going on and everything, supposedly. Then we get like Zuckerberg, all secret underneath the ground. Now, he speaks of corruption. You know what I mean? And all that tying into the voting integrity. If we can see what is what, we can change things for the people. People who not abiding by the law and the rules need to be held accountable. And the only way to do that is with the people voting them out. But right now, they feel nothing. You know what I mean? And I'm sorry, it's just how I feel. Another thing our government runs efficiently, you know. And everything we talk about could be nothing, just pass the thing, get the budget, and whatever, raises here, there, but government will feel the pain, we feel the pain, despite all that, you know. Running on business, we're just trying to pay your rent. Right now, rent is mortgage. The people paying mortgage for the people, and we cannot do nothing. Of course, we can do something. We gotta do something. We need people in there. You look like representative. I mean, it might be pretty extreme, but he's trying to do something so that people can stay here. I get relatives go to the meeting, go call
buy one place over here. But you know who is the worst culprit? It's our council. They're selling us out because everything getting passed for foreigners outside, and the people got sucked up, you know. But if we can get accountability on our voting, and we can hold people accountable, things can change. Other than that, you know, we just run around in circles, you know, and putting band-aids all over the place, not getting nowhere. We need people in the council who take the lead and come up with solutions. You ask us for solutions, but nothing about that. And you know, I thank you for holding the meeting. I just needed to get my piece in, but everybody should go and look at Ralph's video and how smart these guys are. And they shouldn't be in office. That's a shame. You know, when they try to shut him down and whatever. I mean, I'm glad they get him in there, they remove that attorney general, but that's only the beginning. You know what I mean? People need to be held accountable and removed out of office when they corrupt. And you cannot tell me they're not corrupt. Just watch how they operate. You know? So, I don't mean to come off too strong. Thank you very much. And, you know, I guess that's well.
That's why we come out to you guys.
Thank you.
So we want to hear from you guys. I guess only because I want to make sure I understand the one question, because I understand pretty much everything that you said. You know, my 2 kids live on a mainland because they cannot afford it. I live in a 720 square foot house, 3 bedroom, 1 bath. Been there for over 30 years. I cannot afford a nice place, but that's it. That's where I live. I'm not sure what you meant when you said the county council's fault because we sell and everybody else. We don't control the market. You know, it's unfortunate. I don't know what the council can do to stop. I know what Brendan did. He's a good friend of mine. Introduced the legislation that would ban people from the mainland from buying. You can't do that. It's not constitutional. I mean, I could do that tomorrow and be like, yeah. But for what? I mean, you know, if I could stop that, I would. But there's, you know, we are limited. I understand the pain. I mean, it sucks to have my 5-year-old grandson. I got to FaceTime him with him because I cannot see him and touch him and kiss him and hug him. Do you think I do that because I would rather have visitors and mainland people come in and buy out this place? No. I just try to understand your question.
Well, my question, if I may, the reason I say you guys are accountable, you guys, because it's all ag land. We cannot grow nothing but multi-million-dollar houses. You guys are who changing the laws, who downgrading these properties. You know, that's all. I mean,
I can tell you right now. This is my 16th year on the county council. We did 2 zoning changes on the council in the 16 years I've been there. One was the down zoning of Kauaʻi, and the second one was Kukui'ula, because they wanted to reduce the number of units because they wanted to build bigger units. That's it. We didn't rezone. And of course, I have had absences on the council, but as long as I was there, we've never had any rezoning or down zoning.
so if it's zone ag, then you say it's only Kukui'ula. Get some hidden shallows coming up with A and B and stuff. I mean, I see what's coming up. I mean, now we're not going down zone that too.
Well, we cannot down zone.
So whatever you call changing them, cutting them, I don't know how you guys do it.
So I can tell you what I am doing, and I think that you will appreciate this. Is that the one place that I think we fail is a lot of these ag parcels have ag dedications, where if you have an ag parcel and you can show the county that you're providing ag, either ranching, farming, you get an ag dedication, so your property taxes go down. I believe that there are many ag properties out there that have dedications that they shouldn't have dedications. That in fact they're not growing ag and not ranching. So we are drafting an audit right now. I'm going to be proposing an audit to the council, hopefully in the next 2 months, that will have an auditor come in and look at all the ag dedications and tell me which ones are not providing ag. Because those guys should be paying the top dollar. These guys should be paying the high property tax. I don't believe and again, one is resources. We don't have enough workers to go check every single ag dedication, but I think we can do a better job when we grant ag dedications. You got to prove to this county that you're either ranching, farming, or doing ag activity. And palm trees on an ag parcel is not ag activity. So my point is that to the extent that we can, we try. And that is coming up in the next couple months. I'm hoping that my colleagues will support that and we can get a third party to come in and take a look at our
Okay, so because I looking at, I watch in A&D and the couple other ones I watch into, you know what I mean? And when you get down to it, all our problems come from that. The roads, the everything, all this construction, the roads go down, you guys need more money, fix the roads and everything. All the heavy trucks, busting them all out, you know what I mean? And then now all the traffic and everything, all this is tied to development, overdevelopment, which, you know what I mean, Kauaʻi was awesome before holding that stuff back. Like I said, I'm a contractor, I leave off this stuff, but I don't sell my soul for that. I rather see the island local, you know what I mean, in green. I don't see Green Mountain, I don't see houses all over the place, gated, you can't even go in there, people gotta move out. And even for us, if you paid up your whole mortgage, eventually, the taxes will catch you and get you out. You know what I mean? Because that's what's happening. If we don't stop that problem, we in deep trouble in Maui. Maui is bad. One house rent for $15,000 on medium house. One plantation house is $5,000. And we coming up to that real quick if we don't do nothing about it. We cannot say, oh, no can. We gotta figure something out. People among you guys to figure it out and help us out. Because I don't like it. I'm sure a lot of people living here don't like it. You know what I mean? You got empty lot, this monstrosity coming up, there goes your taxes is going up. You know what I mean? Yeah, not one, they're going up again. So how do you take care of that? You know? The council, the planning, as you guys are experts, you're supposed to figure this out. The roads and all these band-aids is for nothing. We over capacity already. Traffic on the west side, 2 sides, all the way down. You know what I mean? And it's not our people, they're moving on. So what is all this? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
No, I share all of that with you, bro. I'm telling you right now. And we have some ability at the county council level with the real property tax rates, which my plan this year is to really reduce the rate on the residential and owner-occupant properties to keep you guys at a net zero increase and let the resort and let the commercial taxpayer and the high-end resident, the what do I call them? The absentee owners, and let them pay the high tax rates and get our local residents back down. Because for the last 2 years, the tax rates have been the tax bills have been extremely high because it artificially increases because these people are buying and selling homes at 12 million. I just saw on an Apple Road, my God, 14 or 17 million dollars. That's going to crucify the local people that live in Holiday Town. But we at the council level can adjust the rates down so the net hit to the resident will be zero, no increase. Those are things that we can do legally.
Okay, I got something for you now. So what are we going to do to get verifiable elections built off of what Dave was saying? I got involved in these elections a couple of years ago. I went down, talked to Jade and Lyndon on how they run the elections. So in 2020, I found out that there was 3,379 ballot count difference between the state's numbers and the county. I dug into that, and I find out that we're not doing audits properly. I've been sending emails to the council and Jay and Lyndon and asking simple things like chain of custody. So now they're all mail ballots, and people put in their ballots at drop boxes. But there's no chain of custody when those ballots get picked up. There's no chain of custody of what happens to the ballots. So I pointed out in the election website, there's a thing that says, how do we know elections officials don't throw away our ballots? The answer is we keep chain of custody. But the fact is, the county does not keep chain of custody. And I brought that up, and I asked them, first of all, I said, website says you guys are telling me, though. I got emails back from them in their own words, We do not keep chain of custody because there's no law that requires it. I found the law that requires it. I sent it to you guys. I sent it to the whole council. And I said, here's the law that requires chain of custody. So what Dave's saying is we need to be able to verify our vote. And what we're doing counts. So what are you guys going to do to start following the simple laws to begin with? You guys need more money to hire people that can count? Or what do we need to do to make that happen, first of all?
Well, I think I shared, as far as the chain of custody, the state does have the chain of custody forms, which obviously will be implemented. We've had extensive discussions on this throughout here.
So nobody has replied to me yet, and I've sent him, I don't know, how many emails on that subject. So chain of custody, as far as I know, still, there's going to be no action on that. But people got to know that their ballots are making it to the office. And
Well, I can commit to you today that the chain of custody form will be used this election. I'm telling you right now, and not sure what happened in the last two elections. I don't know. I wasn't here on council, but I will tell you that the chain of custody. When we have our budget reviews coming up at the end of March and throughout April, that is a discussion that we're going to have as far as the protocol for elections. Because if in fact it will require additional funds and additional resources, I mean, the council is going to support it. The council will support it.
so to give everybody kind of a background on this, we went to all mail-in voting. Okay, so there's only one service center on the island. If you want to vote in person, you got to make it to the booth. Is there any plans to do 2 service centers?
There's plans to ask for 3.
Okay, perfect.
That's from the council now.
Yeah.
There's a plan to ask for 3 service centers. To make it much more, I mean, I know for a fact, because I got called from someone on the west side that was on his way into Leeway to vote on the last day, and the state decided to go cut trees on that day. So the traffic was, hours, and he turned around and went home. And
That was in the primary.
yeah. Well, primary is just as important as a general, anyway. So, but yeah, the plan is to ask for 3 and whatever resources are
back
needed.
up with the election. So now, these envelopes are collected, they go to the office, they get signature verified. Talking to observers who are supposed to be the eyes and ears of the community, the observers are saying when they're watching signature verification, there's 10 to 15% of the signatures that are clearly mismatched. So the county receives an envelope, they pull up on the screen a signature that's supposed to be on the registration record. The envelope, signature, and the registration clearly mismatched. That goes behind closed doors, and then somehow they find behind there another registration that is different from the registration on file, but magically matches the envelope. How do we know what that process is? And they say, no, you can't be a part of that because there's personal identifying information in that process. We don't want to see people's social security numbers, birth dates, any of that. We just want to know, how did they find another signature back there that matches the signature on the envelope? And simple stuff like that, where what Dave's saying is it diminishes the credibility of the election. So anything that's behind closed doors is not good. The other thing with observers that we're saying is that 10 to 15% of the registrations had no signature. Now, the only thing you need to become a registered voter is you got to breathe air, you got to be alive, mostly. Because there's some people that are not alive and registered. And you need a signature. Okay, so there's registrations, and there's been numerous emails regarding that issue. And it's perfect. They won't respond to what's going on with registrations without signatures. In 2020, they did this. In 2022, all of that should have been fixed. There should be no more registrations. There were 8,000 less voters in 2022. 2020 saw the most voters ever in our history. Okay? So, to have registrations that pop up without signatures is unacceptable. And what we're asking is, what's going on with that? And why aren't those cleaned up? If there's registrations without signatures, they're not registered. And that needs to be cleaned up. But they won't answer us to address it.
I want to make sure we get time for everybody else. But I'll follow up with them tomorrow. You're on elections commission right now, right? You got more of a stake in this than I do, right? Obviously the council cannot get involved in elections. I mean, my God, that's like the biggest conflict of interest. But I take what you're saying, and I know like I said, we have spent a lot of time in this, and through attorneys and attorneys. My God, I filed requests for investigations at the House level, Senate level. You're making it sound like crickets, but listen, we did the resolution.
About when I send stuff to Linda.
Okay, well, I didn't make that clear because I have
a response from you. You replied that they're not answering this question.
Yeah, I will follow up on that. I can follow up on that, but I don't want these people to think that Lord have mercy. I requested investigations from the House, the Senate, elections officer last year.
Well, I encourage you to continue pursuing that.
Well, again, we have legal counsel. I gotta be careful too because it's outside of my scope. I'm a legislator. The council has absolutely nothing to do with elections. You cannot have the legislative body, but we do have oversight over the clerk. So if the clerk is not responding, I can make sure that they respond.
The big part of it was the Office of Elections, the counties are responsible for their election. And
The Office of Elections, not the county council.
the Office of Elections. So somebody is there to run that.
Not yet.
So somebody's got to step into that spot and then take care of these issues, right, at some point. So
Realistically, it will probably be the deputy county clerk who came from that position. It's just, I can tell you that they have posted the position, they have attempted to fill it, and
but I want to make one more point. The elections, when those ballots come in, we stick them into a black box. Okay? The black box spits out an answer. And the answer that they're giving us, they're not proving in a way that people are believing what they're saying. So the audit system that's supposed to happen is they're supposed to randomly select 10% of the precincts and hand check the paper ballots and compare them to the results of the vote. So what they're doing right now is they're using ballot images. Ballot images, there's so much stuff out there that can be manipulated. The county, because they're in charge of their elections, could check the paper ballots and compare them to see if to settle like Dave's questions or whatever, but to go back and do an audit with the paper would build a lot of confidence with the community. So whenever that person steps into that spot, that's something that the state is saying the county's in charge of their own elections and that they could do. So I'm going to throw that out to you. Thank you.
thank you. Any other questions?
Sorry about the distractions. Obviously, I won't be able to stay, but I have a few priority concerns of my own. Really appreciate you being here. These are very micro level. I understand that, and appreciate your time tonight to hear from all of us. I fully support this gentleman's comment about the Hanapepe playground area. The bathroom there is deplorable. The whole playground is deplorable. The slide has been broken for many, many years, and there's so much graffiti all over that place. I won't be able to go there in a few months because my son's learning how to read. It's disgusting. So that's one issue. in general, the playgrounds across the island, now that I'm a frequent visitor of them, there's literally nowhere to sit and no shade. Parents are there with their kids. Kids are having fun, they don't care. But at many of these playgrounds, Kauaʻi Park, Hanapepe, Waimea, no benches, none in the playground area and nothing with shade. At least Omao has a picnic table. Those are the ones I tend to frequent. So that would be incredible if actual park facilities have resources for their parents as well. And Kauaʻi, Hanapepe, Waimea, no benches.
All of them.
All of them. And my last thing is, I live up Kauaʻi Road. The road is over there. Hold on a second. It's very narrow and there's no shoulders, and the edges of the road are just riddled with potholes. I've sent emails requesting when that will be resurfaced. You guys have done a lot of work, good work in Kalāheo, and I appreciate that. Kauaʻi needs attention, and I don't know if there's any possibility of widening it and adding a shoulder, but people have to walk their dogs. I'd love to go to walk my family, but that's not even an option at all. Sidewalks would be really nice. There's, thank goodness for Kukui'o Lono Park, there's otherwise nowhere you can walk with a stroller around here. So, parent problems. Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming. Again, so we're keeping all of this down, but if you want to be in the loop of what we are doing to address those concerns, just make sure you check with Jessica in the back. We don't sell your information, just go ahead and put your information out with your issues so we can keep you guys in the loop. So that we don't forget you guys. No. Oh, I'm sorry.
Hi, my name is Shirley. I'm a resident of Club. I'm also an Indigenous Palestinian. I was born in occupied West Bank. I have my father and brothers still live there. So obviously this is the issue with what's going on now that's very personal to me. So, you know, what we're seeing now, indiscriminate killing of civilians, you know, starvation of an entire population. You know, these things, this is now, it's been for a while. We're in textbook genocide territory. So, you know, of course it's personal for me, but a lot of this affects everybody in this room because we all pay taxes. You know, so $38 billion of our taxes, so, you know, are going to fund weapons, are going overseas. So everybody's issues they talked about in this room could all be resolved, and then some. You know, we could fix homelessness. I mean, I could kind of go on forever. But what this kind of has to do with the council is my question is the Kauaʻi County, you know, what's being done to, you know, put forward a ceasefire resolution, a permanent ceasefire resolution? Is there anything in the works that the council or the county is doing? You know, we're seeing things at different levels of government, but just wondering about that.
Jimmy Trujillo from KPCR, I don't know if you're familiar with Jimmy Trujillo. So he called me last week about this very item and asked me if I'd be willing to chat with. They have a working group that's working on a possible draft resolution. They are working on that right now. He actually was at our Kapap Town Hall meeting last week. And as soon as they come up with their draft, I will be meeting with them to look at it and see.
So it's something that's
It's
in the
from last week. From last week. So I mean, yeah. And I think it's a concern of everyone.
Yeah, I mean, it's everything, but I mean, I think that just saying, hey, you know, I don't want my tax dollars on the floor, it's just symbolic. It matters to me.
Yeah. So they expected to have a draft in a couple of weeks from last week, so maybe next week, and then we'll sit down. I'll sit down with the group and have the discussion. On this end here. Did you turn it on or off? There we go.
I just wanted to ask, are we still doing
As far as I know, we are not using Roundup anymore, and that's,
So what's the new thing? It's like it's real similar.
I'm not sure.
You know, vinegar, salt, that kind of stuff is not so degrading to our island or water and all that.
Yeah, someone messaged me a couple weeks ago and said that they had heard again that coconut virus, that we went back to using Roundup. I was told, no, that's one that we can follow up on and get
I
a fish.
really like it because it doesn't affect the water and I don't have any kids so it
Based on
can be affected by it.
Based on the roads I see on the county and state highways, it looks like we're not using anything. We're not using anything. And
Better look again, better look again.
it's causing a massive problem because,
So brown
people come and pull off to the side of the road and not realizing there's a guardrail right there, and they're hitting the guardrail because these bushes are growing right around. So we will follow up with that. And again, if you want to be kept in that loop, yeah, just make sure you check with Justin. But I don't have the answer for you other than what I was told.
I understand it's a ridiculous problem. What did he say? Wait, was it people from Africa, all of this community for it, or what is the real test?
That was just, another one of those invasive plants that someone brought, and now it's out of control.
I just wonder where it came
This discussion has been on for, over 10 years, and, I don't know how you fix that. It's just a problem. But we'll find out what they're using. I don't know if there's an alternative.
Sorry, yeah.
I mean, it's something, they sent me the name of this chemical which we sent over. I don't know if we have it, but we'll find out. Yeah, especially this kitty grass. This thing's we'll definitely follow up on that.
Email. Are you? Thanks for making me. I came here for my daughter's basketball, not for a meeting.
You like to trade places? I don't want you to know that.
She says she's hungry, but I wanted to say a couple of things. Well, just one thing. I was a policeman when you was a policeman, and I see the evolution of the traffic. It's out of control of Kauaʻi. But I just wanted to say my opinion, my strong opinion, that when I transferred from the Big Island Police, I'm born and raised here with Mr. DeCosta in the same plantation town. But when I transferred from the Big Island Police to Kauaʻi Police, when we had a traffic accident, for example, like Halfway Bridge, we used the old plantation roads to divert the traffic, so there was no congestion on the roads. So I think we long overdue to try to figure out something like that. And again, I'm speaking from facts because I was there, and I opened the gate and let those guys. For example, Halfway Bridge, you can come out the back roads, you can come out to Keep, and then from there on you can just go to the airport, go to your doctor's appointment. You will have people stranded on the road for 4 hours. Kupuna gotta go back to them. Guys missing their airline flights, etc., etc. So I'm not sure this is the time to say my piece, but I'm just going to give you my knowledge, my knowledge about what had happened back in 1992 when I transferred back home to KPD. And we have, for example, Wailuo, you can shoot the traffic behind the jail, come up to Hanamalo. And this is, we long overdue for using the roads again. If we gotta condemn the roads, like the rail, I explained to my friends, the rail system, there was houses in the way of the rail. And they said, hey, sorry, we're gonna have to take the house down. We'll give you X amount of dollars. Same with the roads. If the landlord doesn't want to play ball, then say, you know what, for the greater good of Kauaʻi and the betterment of the community, we need this road, we're gonna pave it. We only open this road when there's a traffic accident. There's a fatality, the police have to reconstruct, which takes hours if it's a fatality on the road. So I think we're long overdue, if the mayor is the one, or the governor, whoever, we need to visit that when we don't have this issue of everybody being stuck on the road. And it's kind of unsafe, you know. You guys could have an attack waiting that long, and then you have cars breaking down, etc. So.
No, this kupuna had to be in the bushes several months ago. But you know, I'm telling you, right? You know why? I was just, oh boy. Yeah, but you know, I have always advocated for that. You know, I think I wish we could do that. And my question to you is, why would it only be during emergencies? Why wouldn't we leave them open 24/7? Why wouldn't we just create that as a new highway? Not a highway, but a new alternative route, an alternative lane, whether they go accident or not. I mean, I don't think any landowner, like you said, would oppose to giving us the right of way. You know, we'll bring it up with the mayor again. You know, he doesn't support that, but neither did the last mayor. And I think it was Brian that opened up the one in Wailua. I was there when we did the groundbreaking. It was so exciting, and then it shut down. And why? I don't know. So I mean, we'll revisit that. But I'm with you. If the landowner don't like, I don't care who it is. If they don't like it, we just condemn it. There's not much value in a 10-foot wide strip of road that was used by King trucks for generations, you know.
Well, like I said, I'm saying this right now because I did that. As a policeman, I was one of the guys opening the gates. So we don't have this issue of being on the road, stuck in traffic for 4 hours, etc. I appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else?
Yeah, me. I just like answer my other 2 questions. I took care of the first one. The budget. Get raises for the county employees.
I don't believe there's raises this year. We do. Is it the collective bargaining raise? Oh yeah, it's a collective bargaining, the union. That's just. There's no.
Oh, no set thing yet. No set budget for that yet.
Well, we'll see it on March 15th, but in there, thank you, Mr. Burr, the collective bargaining, the unions, they have a structured pay.
So whatever they decide, that's not we gotta give that.
Yes, sir.
And the last one is what happened with the Zuckerberg thing. How come the public never know nothing about that? How did they plan that? Get that all executed? You're familiar with what's going around, right?
Yeah, I read the article about the bunker and all of that, and I immediately contacted Kalāheo from planning, and I said, bro, is this stuff all permitted? And he said, yes. Again, those things don't come to the county council, so we don't know. But all of the permitting that went on, the application for the permits for the goes through the planning commission.
So I mean, usually we get hearings when we like do a little Ohana or something. How this big thing, this monstrosity go by without even our input, no more EPA. We don't even know what even going on with the whole thing. We just see a big surprise dropping out that this thing went right through just like that. Nobody even knew about that.
Yeah, I did it, to be honest with you, but I don't track the planning commission agendas. I don't, because that's outside of our purview. But I mean, there were, the hearings did happen, it's just no idea about it. Which was kind of shocking when I saw the article, the Wired article. I was like, what the heck? But, you know, again, I'm sure that it's permitted.
Okay, so it's permitted, but see, my concern is people with money, they can get what they like done easy, you know what I mean? If we like something permitted, it take forever just to get them out of the planning, you know what I mean? And these kind of things, I'm sure just go right through, you know what I mean? It's typical for the whole United States, you know, but it shouldn't be that way. I mean, you know what I mean? We should get the same rights as anybody else, and things should go expediently, just like even for us, and not, you know, just, I mean, it's like pulling teeth if you like build something over here, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know how long the process is or whatever. I mean, I'm sure we could get that for you. That's all right.
That's fine. I'm just wondering about the meetings, because I never hear anything about it.
Yeah, neither did I.
And when this whistleblowers blew the thing up, they said sworn to secrecy. Nothing should be sworn to secrecy. Everything should be out and open. That's our island. We should know what's going on, you know what I mean? And even get rumors of you like blow up the reef and make submarine docking and stuff like that. And nobody gonna talk about that till they do the thing too, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think that will happen. I mean,
Anyway.
I mean, listen, if we hear the rumors too, and you know, I contacted David whenever the rumor I heard was he had already blew up the week. And of course I got pissed off, but that's not even true. And now it's going to be going to blow up. You know, listen, I don't know what's going on out there, but I can tell you that, and again, we can find out the chronology of when the permits were applied for and what it was for. It's all public record, but I don't keep track of that. It never had to come to council because it's
But that's why the voting is so important, because we want to be able to hold people accountable.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying everything put up whatever, but I mean, everything's supposed to be transparent, out in the open, no matter who, I don't care how rich they are, we're supposed to know about it, you know what I mean? And I heard about this 3-4 years ago, about what was happening, and all secret, everything. I mean, I had friends delivering cement and everything, you know what I mean? And then now the thing come out, but I mean, kind of smells a little bit, you know what I mean? And that's the thing now when we get back to the voting, because how do we change stuff like that if our vote no count in the county? And I know you don't want to do with it, but for them suppress it, because I watch it with my own eyes with Ralph, you know what I mean? And I watch their attitude. If you look at that, everybody in here would be appalled at how they act to him like that. Like they laugh at him and stuck the thing, brush him under the table. It's done.
Is that on Wednesday?
Huh?
Election Commission website.
Okay.
But you should watch it. Go and look at it. And then you decide for yourself when you see them trying to cover that thing up and not letting us see what's going on purpose. You know what I mean? So why it bothers me, because you can put whoever you like inside. Oh, we don't like that guy, this foolish guy from the back, put him inside. You know what I mean? With the papers and all that. And it's not right. So, like I said, it smells. And I'm sorry for bringing this kind of stuff up like that. I mean, seriously, I don't like to do that, but our system smells right now. The whole nation smells. Our state smells, our county smells, and our federal smells, you know what I mean? The corruption is so unreal, and the perversion and everything that's going down is like unbelievable. It's not normal, and people are accepting this like everything is all normal and going on. No, I mean, election integrity and everything, look what's going on, and it's like sad, you know what I mean? And this election coming up now on, what is that, the 12th, is it, or something, right? How many people didn't even know? Everybody don't even know about that. You know that we got primary, everybody in here coming up, you know?
Primary is in August.
So we get on voting coming up on the... Yeah.
Well, it's a party caucus, a party.
Yeah.
Well, our primary is in August, not.
Yeah.
Caucus is in a couple.
Yeah.
But I mean, even that's
Every state has a different.
you know what I mean?
Well, let me just say, because I like spending, I think you guys made your point. I will say that I spent a lot of time on that with Ralph and others. You know, I don't think, and I think even Ralph would agree, that there's any evidence of any kind of election tampering here on Kauaʻi. But I will agree that there's some things that we got to do better. And that's what we are, and I can assure you, like I said, we are going to be asking for 3 sites. So it's more convenient. That's a council funding decision. The county clerk is no different than the planning department director or the parks director. The charter is very clear that the council cannot interfere with the day-to-day operations of the administration. If we do, we lose our seat. Like that. That's the charter. So we got to be careful too with calling up parks director or telling Ina, do this or do that. I mean, you know, we can talk to them and encourage them and ask them, but there's a line between what we can and cannot do. It's a separation of power. So, like we do have we hire a clerk. The council does. So yeah, absolutely. If the council is not happy with what the clerk is performing, then the council can change the clerk. But we are going to have that discussion when we get to budget to determine what's the strategy for the election protocols, and that's going to happen at the end of the budget.
Are you going to put that on the agenda?
It's on the agenda.
What's the meeting?
I don't have it. I don't know if we brought the calendar with us. It's a budget meeting, so if you go on our website, You can see our entire budget calendar, and you can see when the county clerk, office of the county clerk is coming up.
Piggybacking on what David just mentioned, your agendas are very brief into what you're actually discussing. Is there anything, any way that we can have the attachments without actually going to the council, into the council chamber meetings? Like having the attachments that you guys receive posted online? And with the county council, I think, it's, your agenda is a lot better than planning. Planning really needs to complete their process of how they put the material out online. Because there's no way you can click on it, it's just a PDF file. I don't think a PDF is sufficiently enough for people. I think it should be a documented file. Click on the item. If you go to like the legislature or BLM for that matter, and you click on their agendas, it highlights so that you see all the attachments that actually go with that item. So I think that's the way that we have to. This is how I think we can notify people of everything that's coming up. The attachments will explain what the item is.
Okay, so right now, you click on the item number, you will see either if it's a communication or.
Yeah.
So what are you, that's not good enough, you're saying?
No, because it really doesn't tell you much. I mean, unless it's a bill number will probably come in with the.
Right, so you get the bill,
Yeah,
the
you get the bill,
resolution,
yeah.
so I'm not.
But it's really not more in detail. I mean, we don't even get to see any testimonies that are submitted as a public for the county council stuff. Now, on the state stuff, you see all of that.
Yeah.
So I think our county is behind in how we distribute information.
Yeah, okay. The timing is perfect, because we just met with IT last week about improving our system. We contract out and all of those things, the video, obviously, Kauaʻi, and Granicus does the back end. So we'll definitely make that suggestion. Testimonies, so you were asking that you would want to see testimonies as well, like the state legislature?
It's good to see what people are saying, we don't know, other than you guys say, oh yeah, we can receive testimony, or we can receive testimony. But when you look at the state legislature, all the testimonies are posted, whether it's in support or opposition.
Yeah, well, they're exempt from the sunshine law too, by the way.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Yeah, so they can meet in private. So anyway, but that's it. We'll definitely see if we can do that for this next upgrade.
Question number 2.
Number 2?
Yeah, question number 2. Well, I have 2 questions.
Okay.
Okay, river mounts, and I don't think I have that on my list, my 2-page list. But river mounts, when is the county gonna open up the river mounts so that they flow into the ocean where they should be flowing?
That's a question I'm gonna have to ask them.
That's what's causing, that is part of the cause of our warm water.
You have, is it all river mounts? Which, is there anyone in particular?
No, it's everyone right now that I know of that hasn't been cleaned all the time where it's flowing.
Yeah, I believe that.
Unless the high tide comes up and
Yeah,
floods come down. So
I don't want to misspeak, but if I remember correctly, I believe they have contractors that will, when the need arises. I don't think there's any regular maintenance of the river mounts.
there should be though.
Yeah, and you think it should be the county?
Yes, it is.
Really?
The county does have the responsibility, not the state.
Oh, that's right, you're dealing on it. I guess I cannot lie about that.
Stop that. Nobody knows that anymore.
Now you do. I should have introduced you. She's our board member at DLNR, by the way, or BLNR. Yeah, I don't think there's regular maintenance scheduled. It's like when it closes, we call out a contractor and they go out and open them up.
Hi.
Hi.
Just 3 topics. I don't expect you to answer them now. The first is on Hunter, the refuge transfer station. The chute has been closed, has been operational since August of 2023. During that month, the community was told that they were hoping to get it functional again December 2023. If not, then they would give updates when available. No updates have been given, and it's still closed. So everyone just has to drive down and dump to put their bag trash in the front loader. So can you get an update on that from Public Works, Solid Waste? Why is the emergency chute not being used? What is it there for if not now when we can't use the main chute? And are they planning to replace the operational chute that goes down every few months, or are they repairing it? Because it seems like they're doing these repairs that will work for a few months and it'll break again. So why do they keep repairing something that will never get fixed? Next is on the Kalāheo landfill. We all know there's a deadline on it. It's not going to last forever. What locations is the county looking into other than the west side? And if they aren't looking into other locations other than the west side, why not? Because as you said, no one wants a trash dump in their backyard. Why are we always looking to Kalāheo? We already have one. Why are we giving them another? Again, you don't have to answer that again. And then my last would be on housing, which isn't related to the CRP budget, sorry. Is it possible to get something like the Ohana bill brought back? I think it was because our family was able to do a second house because of the Ohana bill. We're able to build a second house to keep family on island. Can that be done again? Is it possible? I'm not sure what the restrictions are on that. Thank you.
Yeah, let me work backwards. The Ohana bill, you actually can, there's an ARU bill now that you can build a second unit on your property, 800 square feet. You can do that now. The problem is you gotta have a septic system. If you have a cesspool, you gotta do a septic, which makes it almost undoable for most of the people. Councilmember DeCosta and I are just getting ready to introduce a bill that's going to allow ag lot owners that have a house on your ag property that you'll be able to do a guest house of 800 square feet or less. And that's going to help a lot of the generational families here that have all this ag land that they're restricted to building their one house. So we will be, that should be coming out in April. And hopefully we can get that passed out of the council. The landfill, I was shocked last week. We had our capital improvement budget update, and there's a lot of money in our capital improvement budget for a new landfill site study, which I was kind of surprised. I'm not sure. The Kalāheo site is the administration's choice for right now. But as I mentioned earlier, they're also looking at alternatives such as waste to energy or gasification, pyrolysis, all these different technologies that could work. As far as the transfer stations, that's another audit that I'm going to be introducing in the next couple months is why is our landfills and transfer stations shutting down so often, and how come? Well, what is the problem? Because when you get if you have on the list of the county meals, you get the press release when the thing is done. But if you're not on the email list, then you drive all the way to the site, and then you got to turn around, and I think that also contributes to some illegal dumping. I don't think the gentleman left already. He was here. He said that illegal dumping. Yeah, he's still here.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said that illegal dumping doesn't happen in the mainland. Listen, I've 60 years on this earth here on Kauaʻi. It happens, and it will happen if we don't provide our residents a place to dump the trash. On the mainland, you keep on driving until you find the next place you can dump trash. You can't do that here. So, I'm interested in finding out why are our equipment breaking down so often, and why are we short of staff so often? There's got to be an issue, and so that's the other one. I don't know. We'll have to ask about the emergency chute. I wasn't aware of that, but we'll definitely follow up on that.
I have a couple quick questions related to backups, etc.
You gotta speak into the mic.
Okay, when we get stuck in traffic, there's no relief. I live on the Mall Road, which is a county road. If there's a problem elsewhere, everybody's going on Mall Road. We are stuck there because there's no traffic control either end. The lineup is either one way or the other way. And where the problem is. So it would sure help us if we could have a little bit of traffic control when there's a problem at each end.
Yeah,
Because there's no way to turn on other roads and no way to turn left or stuck with sit. And another problem is the county road. I mean, Tree Tunnel Road is a county road too. And those people think they own the highway. And so if there's not even a problem, if there's a lot of traffic, we get stuck waiting for the people on the Tree Tunnel Road to get in. They keep barging in. There should be some kind of flashing lights that you can have, like on the neighborhood, they have traffic lights for approaching the freeways.
Yeah, I'm not sure if the state is planning a roundabout over there as well. I think I remember the state talking about a roundabout at the Kalāheo Junction.
Really, at the top of the tree tunnel?
On the outside, right, on the highway? I could be wrong, but for some reason I'm thinking that. I'm not sure.
One other thing is, if we could have a number we could call to find out if there's any traffic tunnels. Is that possible that the police department maybe could have a number for just calling about traffic?
Well, the non-emergency number at KPD would probably be the best bet.
What number?
241-1711.
Oh.
That's the number, 24117. That's the dispatch line. They would be the ones aware of any problems in traffic across the island. Calm Radio does a good job. Not that I'm promoting Calm, but they seem to get all the scoop, from their road reporters. But yeah, the non-emergency number at KPD would probably be the best bet.
Oh, well, that's a good idea to have the back roads built.
Yeah, we'll make another big push again for that and see how far we can get.
We lost the back road because of liability over the years. We got out by the state and the county.
Well, we lost the back roads because new owners own it and they are not letting us use it. So obviously, with the acceptance of those roads and rights of way, the county would take on the liability. I mean, it is like we take on every road that we have.
Limit the amount of ground cover.
Yeah, I wish we could do that. I really do. I wish we could. Well, the law says we cannot limit the number of. Yep. I'm telling you.
Yes, I can validate everything she says about Mile Road. I mean, the traffic's diverted in. But what I want to talk about is the ADU idea and the septic tank. Obviously, most of us are qualified if we're homeowners to build an ADU. And I was one of the lucky people in the 70s who got a small house. And it's all, I'm a homeowner, yay. So I'd love to build an ADU because I have children that I want to keep on the island, and I have an elderly parent that is being evicted currently, and she's in her 90s. So I went to a place in Australia, actually, that was affected by the Australian fires, and they had this problem. So what did they do? The federal government and the states bought up enormous amounts of, I guess, tiny homes. They were only 350 to 400 square feet. And people could buy them at a very reduced rate. And yes, you didn't get to design something fancy, but it was, immediately there for your use. And it really helped everyone in a disaster because they were able to live right away, whether you need a caretaker living in your backyard or you need your son to stay on the island, that would be something we could do. And of course, the affordability of the septic tanks is ridiculous, and we're not going to be able to build anything, no matter how affordable we make the ADUs. But if we could try to reduce the cost of an ADU by bringing in a massive amount of the same thing, maybe then we could spend money building sewage. Like in my neighborhood, just bringing in a sewage treatment plant would solve all that issue.
Well, nothing prohibits you from building or buying a small.
No, that's not the point. The point is that you can't even do that with the cost of construction and shipping and everything else. We need help from the government to actually buy up, you know. What if you just brought it to 200 and saved one neighborhood, you know?
Yeah, it's the septic that's the problem right now, you know.
Well,
40,
I'm hoping
40,
the
50.
government understands we can't afford septic tanks.
Okay. Well, I'm going to hang around for those of you. We're going to have to end it because we got the week live is going to go real. You know, I'll hang around and answer any more questions that you guys want. But I did want to just thank you guys for coming tonight, and I hope you know a little bit at least. But again, I'll hang around to answer questions face to face. Next week, Monday is at Kalāheo Center. And I'm sure that'll go by everyone as well. So thank you, everybody. See you guys.